You're driving. Sunlight hits a parked car's grille just right. And suddenly, you see a face, staring, almost judging you. You blink. It's gone. Just chrome and plastic again. But here's the thing. You're not imagining it, and you're not alone. The person in the passenger seat sees it too. So would a stranger on the street. You're all seeing the same face in the same lifeless object, which means your brain isn't making a mistake. It's doing something far stranger. Why does your mind automatically see faces everywhere? In clouds, in outlets, in car grills, in shadows, when nothing is actually there? By the end of this, you'll understand that your brain is running a detection system so old and so aggressive that it would rather hallucinate a face than risk missing a real one. This is called pareidolia. The word is built from Greek, para meaning beyond or beside, and eidolon meaning image or form. It's the phenomenon where your brain finds a pattern, almost always a face, in random visual noise. And it's been part of our language since the 1800s, because humans have always known we do this. We just didn't know why. It isn't a glitch, it's a feature, and it reveals something unsettling about how your mind actually works. Let's start in the brain. You have a region called the fusiform face area, a patch of tissue in your temporal lobe whose primary job is recognizing faces. In 2009, a team led by Nushin Hajikani used magnetoencephalography to watch this region in real time. They found something remarkable. When people looked at ordinary objects that happened to resemble faces, the fusiform face area fired at almost exactly the same speed as when they looked at real faces, around 165 milliseconds. That's faster than conscious thought. Your brain flags something as a face before you have even decided what you're looking at. But here's where it gets eerie. In other experiments, researchers showed people pure noise, scrambled, meaningless, static, but told them half the images secretly contained faces. People reported seeing faces in that random noise about a third of the time. And when they saw one, the right fusiform face area lit up specifically as if a real face were there. Your brain was looking so hard that it manufactured faces out of nothing. That's the core mechanism. You have a dedicated hair trigger face detector, and it evolved for a brutal reason. For millions of years, the ancestors who instantly spotted another set of eyes in the bushes, a predator, a rival, a stranger, survived. The ones who were a half second slow became a meal. So evolution tuned us toward false alarms. The cost? You'll see 10 faces that aren't there to make sure you never miss the one that is. But why faces specifically? Why not hands or trees or anything else? Because a face is the single most information-dense thing a primate ever looks at. In one glance it tells you, alive or not, threat or friend, kin or stranger, calm or furious. Milliseconds of reading a face could decide whether you lived. So the brain built a shortcut. 2 eyes and a mouth, that's all it needs. 2 dots and a line, and the system fires. And that minimal template explains the oldest illusion of all, the man in the moon. Cultures with no contact, Chinese, European, Japanese, all independently saw a face up there, not because they shared stories, but because the moon's craters form that exact pattern. 2 dark patches above, 1 below, 2 eyes, 1 mouth. Your detector can't not see it, but pareidolia doesn't stay in the sky or the lab. It shapes things down here, and nowhere more than the machine you drive. In a landmark study, researchers led by Sonja Windhager showed people the front ends of 38 different cars. Over 60% of participants saw a face in at least 70% of them. And they didn't just see faces, they read personality into them. When the results were analysed, one trait dominated everything: power. Cars that looked dominant, angry, masculine, hostile scored high on it. People were reading emotion off sheet metal. And here's the kicker. When the study was repeated with participants in Ethiopia, the same patterns held. This wasn't Western culture. This was human wiring. Car makers figured this out and never looked back. Round, wide headlights read as friendly and approachable, part of why the old VW Beetle felt so likeable. Narrow, swept-back headlights read as aggressive and fast. big grills read as dominant, and studies of drivers found something darker still. People who more strongly saw faces in cars were more likely to respond to aggressive-looking vehicles on the road, the illusion bleeding into real behaviour. And it's not just cars. Look at a wall outlet, 2 sockets and a hole beneath, 2 eyes and a startled mouth. Your brain locked onto that the day outlets became common, and now you see thousands of tiny shocked faces a day without thinking about it. Here's the part that should unsettle you. Pareidolia doesn't just make you see a face, it makes you assign a mind to it. Once your brain renders something as a face, it starts treating it as if something is there, something with intentions, something that can look back. This is the same machinery, dialed up under stress, that has filled human history with spirits in the dark, faces in the fire, presences in empty rooms. Not because they were real, because your brain is so committed to finding minds that it conjures them out of fog and shadow. You're not broken. You're hypervigilant. You're the descendant of the ones who always checked twice. And now we live surrounded by objects engineered to trigger exactly this reflex. Cars designed to have expressions. Devices given faces on purpose. Software that wears a friendly interface and suddenly feels like a someone. The detector that once watched the tree line for predators is now being aimed at us, deliberately by people who know precisely how it works. You think you're looking at a car, but a car is looking back.